Hey everyone, so one of my favorite things about the new iPhone 7 is zoom functionality on dual cameras. So on this phone you have two cameras that work in unison to provide better zoom. Now in this video I'm going to be comparing the camera on that versus a lot of other phones, all the major phones from this year. So that includes the iPhone 7, the iPhone SE, the Xperia X Compact, which has the same camera as on the XZ, the Xperia X Performance, the Galaxy S7 Edge, the Galaxy Note 7, the LG 5, the OnePlus 3, and the HTC 10. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you first the zoom functionality on the iPhone 7 Plus. So as you see here with the 7 Plus, now you do have two different cameras. This is the main one and this is the zoom in one. But my favorite thing is to actually use both in unison. So you can just use the first one and then zoom in. It will automatically shift to the other camera. And so you see this is just a look at it zoomed in. You can really make out a lot. Zooms in really far. So you see some of the stuff on the TV there, some of the Pokemon card, Mewtwo card, Sour Patch Kids. So I'm just going to take a few pictures of this. And then I'll show you at the end of the video. So again guys, I think that this is probably the best camera in terms of zoom functionality, but we'll see. We'll test it versus some of the other phones. Next up is the iPhone 7. Now this phone does not have the 2x zoom. So let me show you what it looks like. Rather, does not have the dual camera, I mean. So as you can see here, obviously much less that we can actually zoom in. Take a picture. Alright, so next we're going to look at some of the Galaxy phones. Actually, before we do that, let's look at some other ones. Let's look at the iPhone SE. So this phone, 12 megapixel camera as well. Although the zoom functionality on it isn't that good. So here's fully zoomed in. Next up is the LG G5. So actually let me just put this to the default camera. Right now it's on the wide angle. Let me just do the regular one. Alright, so this is the maximum zoom. So actually it does zoom in really far. Let me take some pictures. Alright, next up we're going to look at the OnePlus 3. Alright, so now for the OnePlus 3, this has a 16 megapixel camera. See how far in it zooms. So obviously not that great zoom functionality. Alright, next up is going to be the LG G5. Rather, next up is HTC 10. We already did the LG G5. So HTC 10 has a 12 megapixel camera. Alright, so let's go and zoom in. So as you see here, really pretty poor zoom. Now we're going to do the Xperia X Performance followed by the X Compact and the Galaxy phones. Now the X Performance, this has something that's supposed to be 5 times clear zoom. It also has a 23 megapixel camera. Personally guys, I'm really not that impressed. So here it is fully zoomed in. You see, not bad. Although I don't think it's particularly clear. I'll show you photos in a second. And doesn't get as far zoomed in as the iPhone 7 Plus. And then the X Compact, which again is supposed to have the same camera as on the X Performance, rather as on the XZ. Alright, so here it is fully zoomed in. Alright, so again I think it's pretty similar to the X Performance. Not that great. And finally the Galaxy phones. Galaxy S7 Edge, 12 megapixel camera as well. I think the zoom on this one is solid, not the best though. We'll see. Alright, so this is the maximum zoom. Take a picture. And then last we're going to do the Note 7. So we're getting the same camera on this, 12 megapixels as well. So here's zoomed out. Here is all the way zoomed in. So yeah, really similar looking. Alright, so now I'm going to show you some of the pictures. We're going to zoom in on the pictures, do a little bit more zoom on it. Alright, so I'm not going to go through everyone, just the ones that had pretty decent zoom. So here is the Note 7 on the left, S7 Edge on the right. You can see here, you can kind of make out, you know, not the best quality clearly, but you can make out some of the stuff on here. So yeah, you can make out some of the words. And on the Mewtwo card, so again, a little bit blurry obviously, but still pretty good, above average. And just move the camera so it'll be a little bit less distracting with the background stuff. But again, next up is the LG G5. Show you now, it's kind of distracting with the light here. Let me just move that. Alright, so again, this is the LG G5. And zooming in, so I think it's somewhat similar to the Note 7, the S7 Edge. You see, kind of hard to obviously make out some of this text on the card. Alright, so I think this is going to be the main point of reference if we can make out this text. So far, not really able to make it out well on either phone. Next is the X Performance and the X Compact. Again, both these have 23 megapixel cameras. The one we just saw was 16 with the LG G5. So here is the maximum zoom in. And here's that card. So I think that it looks a little bit better on the X Compact. I think maybe a little bit easier to read. Let's see. But again, as you guys can clearly see, very blurry right here. Yeah, so I don't necessarily think that the zoom here is better than the two that we just saw. And a closer look again at the X Performance. Alright, so I believe that just leaves the iPhone. Again, the other phones that we looked at, HTC 10, OnePlus 3, didn't have great zoom, so I won't bother with it. So first the iPhone SE, and this phone did not have great zoom either, actually one of the worst. But I will show you this because this video is mostly about the iPhone. So you see here, maximum zoom. You can hardly read it at the bottom, I mean you really can't read it. So yeah, this is definitely one of the worst. That's the iPhone SE. 12 megapixel camera. Next up is going to be the iPhone 7. So here's the 7. Again, 12 megapixel camera. Not great zoom on this either. Though it looks like maybe it will improve it, maybe not. No, let me know what you guys think. And then finally, let's look for the ones that you've all been waiting for. The iPhone 7 Plus. So with the 7 Plus, by default, we were really able to zoom in on this. So just the Sour Patch Kids picture. You see, I mean, even the stuff at the bottom left corner here, pretty clear. Let's look at a few more. And then the main one here being the Pokemon. So here's that Pokemon card. So maybe a little bit easier to make out the text here, maybe not. See if there's another one. Yeah, so by default, the 7 Plus does let you actually zoom in more than any other phone. Although when you actually start to zoom in a little bit more, so this is the Galaxy on the left, the Galaxy Note 7, and then the iPhone, you can see that the text, I think it's clearer than most obviously, but still not that clear. Here is, let me further zoom in on the Galaxy phone. So the text we're looking at the bottom here. Wish I could zoom in a little bit more on the iPhone, but I can't. Well, I think so. Like you can make out the text here on the right side. I think a little bit easier on the iPhone. Let me zoom out a little bit on here. Yeah, I mean I think Mewtwo looks a little bit clearer. One last comparison versus the LG G5. Alright, so here's the LG G5 on the left, the iPhone 7 Plus on the right. So let me know what you guys think. I think personally both of these, best two of the bunch. Easiest to read the text at the bottom. I know it's still really hard to read obviously. And yeah guys, this is the max I can actually zoom in on the iPhone interface. A little bit look around the edges. Sour Patch. Wait, let me go to the other Sour Patch picture on here. Alright, so this is zoomed in on the Sour Patch. Yeah, so again, let me know what you think. I think it's really close between these two. And just to show you the Xperia phone, because probably some of you would want to see it. Really no contest, guys. I mean, this is something that Sony needs to work on. So here's the X Performance. I mean, incredibly blurry. You can't make out any of that text. Looks really bad. And then on the X Compact, really the same thing. So here's a look at the card. Again, very blurry. Can't actually make out this stuff despite it being 23 megapixels. So yeah, guys, I'm definitely gonna say it's really close between the LG and the iPhone 7 Plus. But yeah, these two are clearly the winner. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section which of these two you think did better. Again, it's trying to give you every angle that you can look at. Wish I could zoom in a little more on this, but yeah. Oh no, it's pretty close. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more content like this in the future. And let me know in the comment section what video you want to see next.